All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, I'm going to start this video off here with a great quote from the wise, the superstar, the great Baker Mayfield. That's a win, son. Here we go. Cleveland Browns go on the road to the Baltimore Ravens, at the time division leaders in the AFC North. The Cleveland Browns go on the road and win 40-25. First of all, I know I wasn't able to do a preview slash prediction video. That is because of many different reasons. And I know I haven't yet gotten to talk much college football or anything else going on in the NFL. But we are going to talk about this because every week, every game, every day before this game that this team was talked about after at least the first game of the season, it has been nonstop. The team is overrated. Baker Mayfield's not as good. This team is same old Browns. That's what I've constantly been told since the end of the Tennessee Titans game. There are positives. There have always been positives. I told you after the Rams game, you have to look at this and point out, hey, those are major things that you can point to and say, hey, that is a great sign. That is something we can build off of. That's something great leading into this big game. There has been a lot of talk, like I just said, constantly about this team. There were people who come on and say the same thing over and over again. There's no hope. There's no chance. We're going to get outplayed. We have no coach. Quarterback sucks. Our line sucks. And these are Browns fans. Some of them are Browns fans coming on and claiming there's no hope. There's nothing that can change. Let me tell you something. I'm not saying I predicted this because I didn't. That's not true. I did think the Browns were going to win this game. If you know anything about football and you go back and you watch what the Ravens have done in the games they've played, and you look back and watch the improvement of the Browns. This was a game that the Browns were going to win. Unless something, it wasn't a guaranteed win, but based on what you've seen, this looked like a Browns win, at least from my standpoint. I don't know. Maybe I'm just that dumb. I went back and watched all the Ravens games, all the Browns games, and just seen the trends and seen how things are coming together. This Browns team, this whole season has been, well, not the whole season, but the majority of the season so far has been without a lot of stars. This is now the second game in the row that Greedy Williams, Denzel Ward, Morgan Burnett have been out in the secondary. Christian Kirksey, you can add to that. Randall was out before that. And then on offense, Antonio Callaway got suspended. Rashard Higgins got hurt. And Njoku got hurt. The right tackle, Hubbard, got hurt. There were a ton of injuries. Okay. This game, we get back Randall, which is huge. We get back Hubbard. Those small additions helped, okay? This Cleveland Browns team were coming into this game hungry. They played their heart out in that Rams game. I've already told you the positives. If you haven't seen, go back and look at the review of that game. There were things to build off of. This defense is lights out. Steve Wilks is phenomenal. The best thing that's ever happened to this defense. It's not just all blitz, 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 which with this team, would it work sometimes? Yes, but you're also going to get burnt a lot. The defense that Steve Wilks has brought has been phenomenal, spectacular. He has shut down a lot of power on a lot of different offenses. It's not easy to game plan for Lamar Jackson. There's a lot of things that you can say that are like, easy to point out. Number one, force him to throw. That's easy to say, but you know what? When the dude is that fast and can make the plays that he can, it's not an easy thing to do. Steve Wilkes found a way to do it. Did Lamar have time? Did I'm getting ahead of myself. Did Lamar run? Yes, he did. But did he have the huge momentum changing third down conversion runs that you've seen in the past? No. Did he have some of the throws that he had? No. One thing that this Browns defense has done is shut down the run. What the Ravens have done the best is run the ball with Mark Ingram, with Lamar there. That is a dynamic duo right there. I didn't think Mark Ingram was even going to have the game he had. He wasn't lights out like he has been, but he has played good. So anyway, the game plan there, force Lamar to beat you throwing. I've watched Lamar. I love college football. I watched a lot of Lamar in college. He's not a dynamic thrower. It's just plain and simple. The Ravens are running an offense catered towards him, which they should, by the way. I'm not saying change it. You're fitting towards the strengths of him. Okay, I agree with that. But it is primarily things that have been run and continue to be ran in college. It's a very college style. But anyway, I'm trying to find. Okay, Mark Ingram had 12 rushes for 71 yards. He averaged 5.9 to carry. His longest was 18. So, yeah, it wasn't the numbers that we've seen, but it was not horrible. Lamar Jackson had 9 rushes for 66 yards. That's for what he has been doing, that's spectacular. Steve Wilkes, with the injuries we've had, has found a way to get the job done. So credit to him. He's been lights out. This Browns defense has been lights out. It's what's keeping the Browns in games. And despite the offense that was expected, and we're going to get into that, the defense is what has kept the Browns in the games that we've been in. Yes, even in the Titans game. Every game, our defense is what has kept us in. And if you disagree with that, you just plain and simply haven't been watching. So our defense has been spectacular. For the Browns offense, we haven't seen it. We haven't seen the play calls. We have not seen Baker being Baker. We haven't seen a lot passing. We haven't seen what we've seen last year, okay? That was the reason why people were so excited about getting Odell Beckham Jr., is because based on what we've seen last year with this offense, it looked like this was going to be the most unstoppable offense in the league. And has it been what it should be and what it could be? No, not even close. But a lot of people are forgetting the injuries that we have, okay? If Tom Brady had these injuries on his team, people would be excuses all over the place. But because we're the Browns and we've been as hyped as we were, the criticism has been off the roof. Baker Mayfield, this game, we've finally seen Baker Mayfield. One thing that he did that changed I am so happy we've seen this from Baker. I love him. I've loved him in college. Obviously, not when he planted the flag in the Ohio State field, but what he did in the Ravens game was he planted a flag. We may have not seen it physically planted, but mentally, psychologically, momentum-wise, he planted a flag right in the middle of their field and said, this is the Cleveland Browns. Baker Mayfield in this game was 20 of 30, 342 yards, 1 passing touchdown. He did have 1 interception. Now, the play was a quick slant over the middle to Landry. There were 2 defenders. Baker should have seen that was not a throw he should have made. He was just trying to get the ball out quick. Landry didn't want to dive for it and get hurt, which he did end up getting hurt anyway. But that was picked. Now, one thing that we've seen from Baker this game, One thing that you've noticed every game so far with the Browns is what Baker's doing is as soon as he's getting the ball, and this is the reason why Rex Ryan called him a one-read quarterback, because this is what he's doing. He's getting the ball. He's looking. We'll just say on this side. If Beckham's on this side, he's looking at Beckham. By the time that he determines Beckham's not open, he's got guys starting to come in, and he's rolling out to his right, and he's bouncing way too early. He has not trusted his line. What he did this game, got the ball, looked at Beckham, determined he's not open. Quickly, I'm going to check second read. If he's open, throw it. If he's not, check third read. And then if he has to get out, he's sitting back, waiting a little bit longer, trusting his line, allowing plays to happen. That is humongous. That is the biggest positive coming out of this game, in my opinion, that Baker Mayfield has finally looked somewhat like Baker Mayfield of last season. Play calling wise, this, and we talk about the media. Before I get to this, everybody's saying, calling out Baker Mayfield, saying he shouldn't be like this. He shouldn't always clap back. Here's what you don't understand. I get it. I completely get that argument. Here's the thing. That's Baker Mayfield. Guy's a two-time walk-on, has always fought for what he's gotten. Fought at Texas Tech, fought at high school, fought at Oklahoma, fought getting into the draft, fought criticism. He's constantly had to have a chip on his shoulder, and that's when he performs his best. This is Baker Mayfield. Get used to it, okay? Like it or not, this is what you're going to see. You're going to see him clapping back because that's motivation for him. That's how he gets ready. Everybody has a different style. Everybody does it a different way. This is just how he does it. So yeah, but anyway, play calling wise, one thing that you are seeing now that you haven't seen in the past games, and I believe this is thanks to the media criticism, calling out Freddie Kitchens' play calling, saying, hey, why wasn't it like it was last year? Why is Baker constantly running for his life? Why is everything so far downfield? Why isn't this offense working? What he's done this game was get back to what worked. This is, if not the biggest positive, the second biggest positive of the game. Freddie has had a lot of criticism this season. I absolutely loved the hire at the time. I'm not going to sit here and say I questioned it. Everybody's always saying first-year head coach, second-year quarterback. I get it. But when you have that relationship between young quarterback and coordinator at the time, if it's working, it's got to stay that way. The last thing you want to do is change that when you're trying to develop your quarterback. So I agreed with the hire. I have said that Freddie Kitchens' leash should have been short after what we've seen in the first couple games. I still stand by that comment. But now what you're seeing is him see the emphasis on play calling and go back and say, okay, this is what works. Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's do this. One thing I noticed was there was constantly a mid-range check down throw, I guess you could call it. In other words, a throw where every receiver is not 40 yards downfield, and there's guys coming over the middle of the field that can make plays that he can easily, if the big play's not there, he can go, okay, he's open. Bam. 9 times out of 10, that was Jarvis Landry or Ricky Seals-Jones. Absolutely unstoppable. That is, if we can do that every game, we have a chance in every game, okay? There's some games on this schedule that I do believe are going to be losses. I'm not going to sit here and say, we're going to win out and go to the Super Bowl. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is because of what we've seen, and now Freddie has seen it work, I think he's going to get back to it. I think he's going to understand, okay, this is what works. This is the formula. Let's do it. And along with the passing game, running the freaking football. Nick Chubb is quietly, because of how he is, the best player on this Browns football team. He is a guy who you're going to give it to and just say, go, and he's going to get it. Just like what happened in the Titans game where they threw that screen to Derrick Henry. He ran it downfield and scored. That was the knockout blow to this Browns team. This is what the Browns did to the Ravens. Pitch out to Nick Chubb, gone. Knockout punch to the Ravens. Just when you thought this is where the Browns could blow it, we end it. And that's thanks to Nick Chubb. That's thanks to Freddie Kitchens. Much better. Nick Chubb had 20 rushes, 165 yards, 3 touchdowns. His longest was 88 yards. I believe that is the pitch. Now, receiving, Jarvis Landry had the best numbers. 8 receptions, 167 yards. This is what having – hold on. I'll just wait on that comment. Moving on. Ricky Seals-Jones, a guy who was a 5-star receiver, I believe, coming out of high school and or college, one of the two. Anyway, he can catch the freaking football. This is a guy we just got, 3 receptions, 82 yards, 1 touchdown. This is another weapon, another receiving weapon. This is phenomenal for the Cleveland Browns with the injuries we've had. Dontrell Hilliard behind him, 2 receptions, 27 yards. And behind Dontrell Hilliard, the guy who we traded for, Odell Beckham Jr. 2 receptions, 20 yards. Now, everybody is going to say, look, OBJ's overrated. We don't need OBJ, yada, yada, yada. Let me tell you something. This is what Odell Beckham Jr. does for this team. The numbers might not say it. The receptions might not say it. You might not even see it on TV while you're watching the game. But what having Odell Beckham Jr. does is open everything else. When the play calling is designed and things are working right, it opens things up. When Nick Chubb is running for his life, not running for his life, but running over people, scoring touchdowns, gaining yards, big carries, they're going to have to emphasize Nick Chubb. Then what happens? Passing opens. So, okay, passing's going great. Then they lock down OBJ. Okay, here you go, Jarvis. Here you go, Seals. It works. This is what having OBJ does. It might not look like it on paper every game, but I guarantee you a lot of those throws that Baker's making is there because of blown coverage for Odell Beckham Jr. Now, is it going to be like this every game? No, because sometimes Beckham will have a good game, Jarvis will have a good game, tight end will have a good game, Chubb will have the game. You're going to see Baker spread the ball because it's working. This style play call is what works. I've come on here and I've said it and I've said it and I've said it and I've said it. This is what works. You got to do what works. Baker fits this system. Everywhere he's been, it's been this style system. You can't just – he's not a quarterback. He could be, but not with this line. You can't sit back and have him holding onto the ball, waiting for the long bomb downfield. He's got to have options over the middle. He's got to have checkdowns. It's got to happen. This is what worked at Oklahoma, Texas Tech, even in high school. It's just how Baker is. You have to have it. So absolutely phenomenal. I'll wrap it up with this. This Cleveland Browns team has a tough couple games coming ahead of them. But let me tell you something. I believe we're going to beat the 49ers on Monday Night Football. All right? And for the same reason why we beat the Ravens, we played with heart the game before. We were hungry. We started to get a couple guys back. Same thing with this game. This time it's a big win, a big division win. You're now in first place in your division, 2-2. A chance to go on the road and prove that you belong against a good 49ers team. All right. Jimmy Garoppolo has thrown interceptions. He's not looked as great as he has been. It's not a bad team. It's a really, really good team. I love the 49ers. I've loved them before the season. But this is a winnable game, all right? I think this game's going to be important just as the Ravens game was. You got to continue your momentum. If there's one thing that's going to get you through this tough stretch of games, you're going to be getting guys back from injury and suspensions, and you're going to continue that momentum. All right. Um, Hope's not lost. I've told you this. Go back and look at the videos. I was never said this. I'm tired of the negativity. Anybody who tells you this season's over 3 games in, frankly, should not be talking football. All right. Unless it's just blatantly obvious. But this team has too much power. We've seen it work. It's not over. So, we'll do a preview video for the Niners game next Monday. We're going to do some college football stuff. Victory Monday. So, with that being said, like, comment, subscribe, turn on notifications, share the video if you like it. Tell me your thoughts. Go Browns. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.